Banyana continue their preparations for the 2023 FIFA Women's World Cup, which will be co-hosted by Australia and New Zealand. Banyana, who are placed in Group G alongside Argentina, Italy and Sweden, will be participating in their second World Cup following their debut showing in 2019. The difference, however, for coach Desiree Ellis and her charges is that they'll be returning to the showpiece now as African champions. That comes with added pressure and requires mental toughness. So, assisting the national side with their preparations is Banyana psychologist, Dr. Koketjo Tsebe. A very good evening and welcome to Newzroom Afrika. Doctor, how important are these next 2 months in terms of mental preparation?
Thank you, Velen. Good evening to the viewers. Very important that it's almost there. We're left with few weeks. And mental preparation is very critical. But because the nature of mental health intervention in sports, it's a process. So as it gets closer, it becomes more critical, but there's always been a build-up. And a build-up, we see it not only through mental health interventions, but it's also present by virtue of being physically active. It also assists athletes to enhance the important factors that are important in mental health performance, and also integrating it together with mental health techniques.
Have you seen a difference just in the mental health, the mental resilience in the team leading up to this World Cup than leading up to other major events?
I believe that I joined the team at a very good time. They're the African champs. And I always say that what you see from the outside is what you get. Very vibrant, committed, goal-orientated, and willing to go and represent the country. I have not seen a difference from the time I joined and from observation before I joined the team. I've been noticing so far is positivity, positive attitude, a sense of willingness and commitment to go there and represent the country.
Because they are so positive at the moment, they're riding on a high, the country is behind them. How are you going to help the team deal with that inevitable first disappointment from here?
All right. Part of the work that we do is also to assist athletes to be able to deal with defeat, disappointment, and on the other side, to also assist athletes to manage to cope in the midst of successes, in the midst of optimal performance, or rather peak performance. So the interventions are not only centered around negative events that may occur, but they also accommodate when they do well, so that they can be able to become mentally tough, they can be able to still be consistent, overcome setbacks, and also maintain their good performance.
Dealing with disappointments is something that everybody in life has to go through. So I'm sure the techniques that you're using with the team are things that you would also just give in a normal clinical environment. But how is it different when you're working with elite athletes like Banyana?
Naturally, elite athletes, generally they are go-getters. They want to see themselves doing well. But also we work in the midst of reality and being able to control things that you can control and things that you may not be able to control. So part of the discussions are also centered around that, to be able to prepare to whatever outcome. If it's a defeat, how do you manage that? How do you overcome and pick up essential lessons from whatever experience? For instance, you spoke about a defeat. How do you overcome and pick up lessons for you that will boost you both physically and mentally and step ahead? Because it's a game of football. You lose some, you win some. But we are going with a positive attitude that will also enable the team to be able to deal with any disappointment that may occur.
A minefield not only for people on a day-to-day basis, media professionals, but certainly for sports people is social media. What is your key piece of advice that you give to athletes, in this case to Banyana players, to manage that? Because social media can be a very, very difficult place, pre-tournament as well as during and post-tournament.
Very, 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 very important remark there, Velen. Social media can have both negative and positive impacts. And the nature of the World Cup is that it invites different worlds and unites them. under the same roof through the use of social media. So one of the most fundamental advices I usually give to athletes is to regulate their use of social media. Tell you what, because there's so many ways that you can be impacted. And there's so many ways you can go out there to search or have to deal with comments that could be coming from different people. So regulating it and knowing to what extent do you get involved in social media, to what extent do you also take into the comments that are written out there about you or about the team, it would also matter most. So regulating, and also how do you deal with the comments that could be either positive and negative, and move beyond.
Well, Banyana certainly has been South Africa's dose of inspiration and feel-good story whenever we need it. So all the best of luck as you build up to the World Cup and during the World Cup. That's Banyana, psychologist, Dr. Koketjo Tsebe.